Hello, welcome back. My name is Professor Prince Mays, at Prince Mays University. So continuing going over Jaspreet's from Minority Mindset, his video on 4 steps to financial freedom. On this first part, his first level, his first step, he broke it down in 10 aspects. We did the first 5 yesterday, which was calculate, which is, making a budget, seeing where your money's going. Bank, making sure your money's going to, bank where it's in a direct deposit account where you can sort it between saving, expenses, and whatnot. Then went to third level of debt. Debt management is very important if you want to build wealth. Then probably the most talked about now, slightly overrated step is investing. Then he talked about spending, which is overall buying more assets and liabilities. And then I stopped there. That was 18 minutes into this video. I made a 23-minute long video. From that 18 minutes, just kind of break down, give my aspect. But then we have just the next few steps here, and it is credit cards. So Jaspreet aims to exclusively only use credit cards. It is reasonable because he gets cash back, perks, purchase protection. And I just want to put this out. This is only if you're disciplined with your money. This is going to that more intermediate field. I had ranked last time, just having a budget, banking, debt as beginner. Debt I can see putting that to intermediate because investing in debt are kind of like two sides of the same coin. But for me, budget, banking, debt, basic, or beginner, investing, spending, and this one debt or credit. This one isn't credit cards. See, this isn't debt. I'm sorry. This is credit cards. Them professor tangents. I'll consider that all intermediate. So just breaking down from my own ranking. And I say this is more discipline because if you aren't keeping track of your money, or you are tracking your money but you're just doing a poor job of where it's going, I wouldn't recommend using debit card or credit card for purchasing things. It's not highly recommended for me because you'll just end up overusing it, not paying off the balance. And I'm speaking from experience. And then that credit will incur interest, whether you're paying on it or not, to a point, and it just goes collections. But you don't want to do any of that. You just want to make at least, at the very least, and I do mean least, the auto pay to do minimum payments, just the very least. But he talks about cashback, and he broke it down a little bit depending on how your credit card works. They charge the financial that you use it at. He uses an example of 3%, and then that's how you get 1 to 2% cash back on what you purchase on, because they're charging not you but the store or the institution you're shopping at. They're charging them 3%. They're giving you 1 to 2% and keeping whatever's left from that charge for themselves. And it's an unnecessary fee, but they're making profit, and you get the rewards from it. And also, a lot of people like to talk about perks from credit cards, as far as traveling and getting free flyer miles, which, if you know what you're doing, you can rack them up and travel for free. And that's just something that's moderately popular on social media and just information out there. But the purchase protection thing is something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. When you shop with a credit card online, the internet, and anything's available on the internet, Discover, MasterCard, Visa, Capital One, their protection is a little bit higher than yours. Like, they protect their money a lot better than you would protect yours because they just have more resources to throw at that. So it's just like, why not protect yourself? Because if someone hacks the credit card, that's the institution's money, not yours. But if they hack your debit card, that is your money directly. That's just something that's underrated, I think. but I just wanted to point out. He also mentioned, which is very important, only use for the money that you're going to spend anyway. So let's say I'm going to Sam's Club and I'm going to spend $600 anyway. Why not just put it on my credit card, get the perks, because I'm going to pay that balance off. There's not going to be any interest to occur. So I'm just going to use that and then pay it off and then keep moving from there. Because people like think they don't use their card. That's helping them. And sometimes that can hurt you. And if you do that, if you spend it on something you're going to spend anyway, you're not going to incur any interest, which means you're not going to have to pay more money out of your pocket. So that is his 6th level on this first tier. Then next he goes to estate planning. This is where I think it jumps from intermediate to higher difficulty in execution, because it takes more than just a basic understanding of it. He says you need to have a will or trust to disperse assets to whom you see fit. Whether you're wealthy already or you're not, your death is your responsibility. This is my own personal thinking. So let's say I died today, and there's a lot of people that depend on me, big and small ways, more than just finances. But when I think of what life would be like if I don't wake up tomorrow, that's been a big driving factor in a lot of my thinking and thought processes is, what if I'm not here? How will this impact my family, my loved ones, anyone who's depending on me? And that's what really drives me to learn and do more. The why drives you. And you don't want to put them in bad shape or worse shape than when you would be here. You can't control everything, but you can do your part. He said, get a lawyer. He is a lawyer, so he said he can't help you with specifics. Every case is different, but get a lawyer that'll help you in your need. There are books to get you basic understanding what you would do. There are online things to help as well, but a lawyer is trained and certified to help you through this process. And he also talked about life insurance. He calls life insurance risk management or tragedy protection. He said it's not for a family to survive on, but acts as a bridge between like you being here and you not. And he also recommended Policy Genius, which was an ad their paid partner, so that's what it is. But as someone who was looking into life insurance myself, I can say Policy Genius pops up. They pop up. And that's not a bad thing. That shows that they're willing to put their product out there. And whenever I was looking for different things at different times this year and last year, they popped up. So, I mean, it's a dope company. It's not just something, I'm not getting paid for it, but like it's something that I had already been previously exposed to before his video. I will say, as someone who has looked into it, when you're getting life insurance, I will say, in my opinion, whole life, and this is different from what I used to say, this is different from like Dave Ramsey and certain other financial people you'll see, like His and Her Money recommends term insurance. And I was like, oh, it's cheaper. It makes more sense. But the thing that I like more about whole life insurance, this is a little tangent, Professor Prince style, is that it adds value with time. And I was on the phone with an agent, a life insurance agent, and they said it takes about 10 years. And if you're like younger, you have a good possibility of that. Occurring cash value, which you could borrow against. You could you never know what you would need to do that, but it's a pretty smart investment. And they usually recommend 10 to 15 times your earning. So if you're making $30,000 a year, they recommend you getting $300,000 policy at least. And then the more you make, the more you should increase that policy. I will say whole life insurance is more expensive. And some of the more famous ones or the more quality ones might be out of your bank, or not your bank, your budget. But there are some discounted, I don't want to say discounted, but some value ones out there that are still like more expensive than you would with a term insurance. I just think the opportunity to build value over time, just from like me continuing to live and not using that, would be beneficial, especially since I'm so young. But other things affect that. One, your credit affects everything. Well, it's like getting internet or not. Like credit is a part of everything. But also your health. If you're not really healthy, you know, I do want to say I do have life insurance, whole life insurance through my job, but I just feel like it's not enough there as a max. I don't know if there's more if you like get higher in the company, but the max that I'm access to is just not enough for me to feel comfortable. So I was digging into it, and my agent was like, "Oh no, you can do for you since you're so young and you're not in the best shape right now. You should do accident policy, and it's cheap. It's like relatively affordable, really affordable, and that's just like that would be my highest, just based on my personal situation with my health. Accident insurance is the most likely thing that I would die from, and that's something on top of my work's life insurance. You can have multiple life insurance policies as long as you're willing to pay. And that is a life hack that a lot of people don't have access to. But if you're like me, you haven't really been exposed to a life insurance policy because people don't think that far ahead. But just me, I just want to do my part. I think my death is my responsibility. And I have too many people kind of, I'm a father of 6. Okay, that's a lot. Plus, family is more than just that. So it's just like, you just want to keep that in mind when looking at these things. Then on his next tier, number 8, we're almost done. Taxes. Pay them. Pay them. That's for me. He said that. He mentioned, paying them, but pay them. Okay. And he said if income is solely from a 9 to 5, like a robo accountant, like TurboTax or H&R Block or whatever, Jackson Hewitt, they do stuff online for free too. Is the way because it's just cost efficient. And he said if your income is a little more sophisticated, whether it be like real estate or you own a business or just more sophisticated than just a regular 9 to 5 job where you clock in and clock out, he recommends getting an accountant. And he said there's just too much, the tax law is too dense, it's too much for one individual who is not trained to worry about all the tax benefits. It's just too much, just more efficient, more time consuming if you just do it yourself. Or it's not as efficient and time consuming if you do it yourself. He recommends getting an accountant. Also, I would like to point out with taxes, there's a shift if you do want to become wealthy. I know everybody hears about Amazon paying $0 in taxes and Trump paying $0 in taxes. Chances are you don't have that kind of lawyer and accountant in your back and pocket and loopholes that you can get through. And for what I see, people who are building wealth, who are having incredible businesses with incredible cash flows, it's a big difference from when they just had 9 to 5. Tax time for them is more paying out than bringing in. And also you'll find talks of people saying you shouldn't be overpaying the government because they're holding that interest free, and you're essentially getting nothing from paying the government. Meanwhile, the government, if you owe them, they're getting all the interest rates in the world. So that's just something to think about. And that's all he had for taxes. That's all I have for taxes. Next, 9, earn more money. And that, ask for a raise a simple way. That's how you point out. But chances are, if you don't like your job, which a lot of people don't, or you just don't want to put more time into it or just more effort, he recommends a side hustle, which is doing or creating value to generate income. And if you don't want to do that, create a business. And a lot of times, side hustles become businesses. There's a lot that comes with it, but there's a lot of information out there. A lot of books, a lot of videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc., etc. Everyone's a guru. You just gotta filter that, all right? And then 10, check yourself. This is the last step in his this is the last tier in his steps of, I don't want to say this. And his 4, we'll just use his word. He has 4 steps of financial freedom, and in his first step, there's 10 tiers. This is the last of the first step. So let's check yourself. And he said something I've never heard before. He said, track your income, track your finances monthly. I never heard that. I thought it was like yearly, but he said you want to track your taxes monthly. Just you don't want to get in a habit or just not checking stuff, and then you find out something's wrong so much later after the fact and can't do anything about it. check them monthly with an accountant and a lawyer. He didn't say both of those, but Robert Kiyosaki says he has his accountant and lawyer working together. And thinking of like Rihanna, how like her accountant stole millions of dollars, or yeah, I guess it's just like checks and balances. You always want to make sure someone's looking out for you always want to make sure, I guess, how do I say this without sounding too paranoid? Have those watching your money watching each other, kind of like a check and balances thing, just for safety of yourself. Put my notes down. I think that was it, but that was all. This I started at 29 minutes into the video. The video is over an hour long, but he does go into more about expanding on different aspects and times. But this was just the first level of getting to wealth. You have to have a budget. You have to have a banking account. You have to pay your debts. You have to invest. You have to utilize credit cards, or at least be aware of them. Estate planning, taxes. That was 9. I don't want to go to that. I did not. I know. And 10 is check yourself. I'm on the clock. All right, 10 seconds. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Why y'all ain't showing the answers out in class? We just went over this. Come on now. You'll make the professor open up the notes. Earn more money. Yes. Those are all things you want to do to help build your wealth. It's a slow game. I guess that's why I also said investing is overrated at this time, because they like to tell you you're going to win $1 million in 10 minutes. Wealth is a slow building process. The more money you have, the more easier it is to build more money. But yours, like, compared to where you want to be, compared to how many mouths you got to feed, compared to how many generations you want to go for, it's a slow building game. You got to set the foundation for yourself properly so that you can build their foundations properly. And you got to teach them right. And, trust the Lord that they'll keep teaching right after you're gone. I want this university, this class, to help build people, to build wealth that has family offices for so many different people. And if you don't know what a family office is, this video kind of touches on what a family office is. The accountant, the lawyer, there's so many more aspects. But you just have to make sure the family has access to all these people to make sure the wealth is continuing to grow. This is all I have. My name is Prince Mays, Professor Prince Mays at Prince Mays University. And this is Health is Wealth 101. Thank you.